Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and this is our weekly TV news show. As it implies, we talk about the week's TV news. We also use this to update you on stuff we're reviewing, anything else that's happening on the channel / network, and at the end of the episode we pick our favourite TV episode of the week, which right now is a really slim fight. That's the first thing I want to say about this week. This was an oddly quiet week. I felt like we were doing nothing this week.
I think we've done 3 episodes of TV.
And there were Wade early in the week, because we had Black Lightning in the middle of the week, right? That was a new show this week, so we had the pilot on its own. So that's up if you want to go check that out. And in future, that'll be part of the Television for the Multiverse podcast, which is all DC shows together, which happens at the end of every week. However, so we had that in the middle of the week. But we had nothing yesterday. Like, we didn't even, because Wednesday we also recorded some other stuff. Yesterday we had nothing recording. And it was weird.
It is weird, actually. I can't remember the last time we had a full day off just because there wasn't anything.
It got to a certain point in the night and I felt like I was slacking. Like I wasn't doing something that I was supposed to be doing.
He went away and updated some lists, I'm sure.
I'm like, man, what's going on here? It felt weird, and it's just a calm before the storm. We've got new pilots hitting this weekend. Sunday night we got Counterpart starting, so look for a review of that coming up over the next day after that. And then Monday night we got the Alienist premiering, so look for that. And within a day of that airing, we got those coming up. We got some meaty shows, which are both reviewing quite well from the advanced reviews, from what I'm seeing. So that's good news. So we got stuff coming, but it was a very quiet week in terms of TV. Which made for a quiet recording schedule, and I mean we could have fit in extra stuff, but in fact we almost did something extra yesterday that wasn't planned, and Connor went to sleep. So
I made the most of my day off. Clearly, well, it was a quiet week for TV, but it was a big week for the channel.
Was it?
It was. We launched our movie news show last week.
Oh, that was so long ago.
I mean, yeah, because it was because we recorded it, back to back. But that was this week.
No, it was, yep. It's the same as this show, but it's movie news. There's a lot more trailers to talk about because there's a lot of movie trailers every week. Last week we had like 11 trailers. There's more this week.
Yes, I'm not looking forward to the slog of watching it and seeing what shit he's left for me.
There's a few good things in there. There's a few not so good things in there, but there's a few interesting things in there. I don't know, I didn't do this intentionally, but it also last week ended with a cool Asian movie at the end. Out of nowhere, and this week also ends with a cool Asian movie out of nowhere.
Oh, no, it does right now, but we're not recording until tomorrow, so there'll be new trailers.
Oh yeah, but I can just put them before that one.
No, that's cheating.
Yeah, but I didn't even put them in order this time though. Like I actually ordered them.
Okay.
I picked the order.
Okay, I don't think you did last time, did you?
No, I did. It was just that one was last because you were literally working your way through the trailers, and I found that one and went, "Hey, add that in at the end."
Yeah. You did, you dick.
So because of that, there'll probably will be new trailers for tomorrow now, but we're already at like 14, so you know what? Like, let's not go nuts.
They can just go next week's.
But yeah, so movie news show did start, and it was 2 hours long. That first one, it was as rambly as you would expect from us. So you can go and enjoy that.
You can thank our patrons for giving you that delight.
Yeah, for hitting the first goal. That's why that exists. That's why it's there. So if you're on the audio feed for this, it'll be on the same feed. You've probably you just got it in your downloads. And you're like, oh, what's this? And
yeah. If you're listening to this one, it's there between this and the last episode. That's how those podcast feeds work, right?
I feel like you just explained something that did not need to be explained.
Probably.
That was like, it's like you're talking to a 2-year-old. Oh, so that'll be between these two because that came after the last one.
I'm just saying, it's like that's already there if you refresh to get this one, so you can't not see it. Whereas, like maybe they didn't refresh it till this point in the week, but it's there now.
Do you know what? I got that Red Bull yesterday and I saved it for this recording because I knew I would need it.
Probably a good idea.
So, yeah. So yeah, like I say, Counterpart's coming. That is the Stars show with J.K. Simmons. Sorry, I was about to say J.J. Simmons. J.J. Abrams. There's a J.J. Abrams story in the news this week, which is why I think my mind jumped there. But J.K. Simmons plays not himself, but he plays a counterpart of his character. So he has 2 characters essentially. One's from an alternate Earth, and we have fun with that. Trailers look good, reviews are good. Alienist. It's kind of like New York's first serial killer, and you got Daniel Bruhl, and you got what's his face? Look. Oh, God.
I can picture his face.
Yeah. It's not Luke Evans, is it? It's not Luke Evans. Look. Oh, that's going to bug the shit out of me. But anyway, she's got a good cast. Dakota Fanning, I think, isn't it? Is it
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, it's Dakota
I'm sure it is. I'm sure that one's right.
Or is it Ellie Fanning?
No, I think it was Dakota.
Was it Dakota Fanning? Okay. Clearly, I don't have this information in front of me, but you get Daniel Bruhl, and it's now
a Luke.
A Luke of some
and one of the Fannings.
One of the Fannings. But the trailers were promising. I was a little bit, I was a little bit worried the time period might make it a bit of a drab watch. However, the early reviews have been promising, so I think they're both shows that will probably end up keeping. Unless we're mightily surprised with one of them sucking. But they seem like...
I was never as in on the trailer for The Alienist as you were. I was a bit more mixed, but it definitely had potential.
Yeah.
But, reviews are positive, so...
Yeah, the early buzz seems to be good. So those are like the shows we'll stick with and keep on. So that's cool. So without further ado, I suppose we'll get into this week's news. Quick things as always up first. Your cancellations, your premiere dates, your renewals, that kind of thing. Is there any renewals? Nothing that I've written down. I think sometimes I'll see renewals for shows that we don't cover and we're not mentioned, like since
and you don't give a shit about.
And so there's no point in us really mentioning them. We're not really covering every TV show ever. We're covering things that are coming because they might be of interest, and then once things have started and we've picked what we like and what we care about, then we keep covering those for new news. But that's kind of how the logic in my brain works when I'm getting the news for these.
It did somewhat make sense.
Amazon cancelled a bunch of stuff this week.
Oh, okay.
They cancelled One Mississippi, which I don't think I'd even heard of, if I'm honest. They cancelled I Love Dick after one season.
That's fine. And
unfortunately, they also cancelled Jean-Claude Van Johnson after one season.
Shame. I'll get to it eventually. But...
Yeah. I like the pilot though, so that does kind of suck. I like the pilot.
I really do think that pilot, it kills the momentum going into the new season, because I'm not excited to check out the new thing.
Well, you say that, but the Tick's been renewed.
No, it's true, but that's the exception here.
Tick's been renewed for season 2, 10 episodes. They'll be shooting later this year, and it'll be coming in 2019. So, Tick definitely feels like smaller batches of episodes over long periods of time. However, I'm really glad. I like the first half of season 1. I'm looking forward to the second half, which is coming in February, and of course, I'm looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, so, definitely. I would say for me though, the pilot season works against that. So, like, obviously, we watched it because we're covering it. If we hadn't been, I probably would have waited still. Like, because I'm not going, what's this? I need to see what it's like. I already know what it's like. It's like, okay, I'll get to it. Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Or likewise, if you just want to wait till the show actually is there, then you're making it look the pilot's less successful, and therefore Amazon might say, hey, but they seem to be like drifting away from the pilot season. They seem to want to get away from it. So, it shouldn't be a worry going forward. But no, happy about the Tick. Pleased about that.
Yeah. I'm not too bothered about the others.
I'm a little bothered about Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
It's mildly disappointing, don't get me wrong, but it's like, okay, it was a fun idea. I don't necessarily need loads of it.
Got a premiere date for you for something that we do care about. We knew it was coming in April, but now we have a confirmed date of the 25th of April for The Handmaid's Tale Season 2 on Hulu. It is going to be a double premiere. There's going to be 13 episodes this season, which is 3 more than last season, so that's pretty cool, potentially. And just a little minor note we got from the TCAs is that Marissa Tomei is guesting on the show this year, so that's cool.
Cool.
I like her.
Yeah, so she's fine. Got no problem with her.
She's on episode 2 apparently. I don't know if that means she's only on episode 2 or she'll be
appearing on episode 2 first. Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, cool. Obviously looking forward to that. It was one of the best new shows last year, so obviously plenty of reasons to be excited. We got another premiere date actually for a new Netflix show, which kind of slipped under our radar until this trailer hit with the date. On the 16th of February, a half-hour show, 10 episodes, a half-hour kind of drama comedy, one of those kind of hybrids that Netflix like to do. It's a coming-of-age story called Everything Sucks, and it's set in the 90s. They've got a cool little trailer out for it, which is basically just, here's all these 90s things that you remember and what school was like in the 90s. It starts with the teacher wheeling in the big TV on the little tray, little cart that they used to always have.
You say cool little trailer, it made me hate it.
Why do you hate it?
I don't get the nostalgia love for the 90s. I don't. So I'm looking at this stuff going, all this stuff is shit. Stop showing me this and reminding me.
Well, most of it is shit, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to hate. Like, nostalgia doesn't necessarily mean you like the thing you're being nostalgic about. For a lot of us, especially our age, this was our childhood.
It was, but I don't want to be reminded of that. I got past that for a reason.
You're so weird. What? Either way, I'm into checking this out. I like the poster as well. The poster, it's all the kids sitting on a big stack of VHS tapes. Like, I'm down for this. And Netflix over the last year proved that their half-hour shows can be quite captivating and maybe surprising at times. So I think at the very least we'll probably be checking out the first episode when it hits on the 16th of February. So
we shall see how busy I am on the 16th of February.
Alright, next up we have another date as well. That's for the next Marvel series, which I'm pretty sure we forgot existed. Freeform's got Marvel's Cloak and Dagger coming. Do you remember this?
Speak for yourself. I remember this pretty well.
I mean, I remember it once I read it, but like it was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. When I seen the title, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that existed.
Okay. I think I remembered this one a bit more. I think it was because this was the first one Freeform ordered, right? Like way back.
Yeah, I think they announced this and showed us a trailer for it far too in advance. I remember getting a trailer for this like at the start of the summer last year, and it was like,
that was weird.
Especially since it's not even premiere until June.
Yeah, because we saw that trailer and thought, okay, that's going to be ready for the, because I think it said this year on it in the trailer, if I recall.
I don't remember if it did. I just remember thinking, all right, we're seeing a trailer, so it must be a few months out, and then it was like a month later we got, oh yeah, it's coming in 2018. It's like, what?
Yeah,
okay.
So we figured, January, February.
Yeah, but no, June 7th is when that's premiering.
Hey, I probably won't care by June. I mean, you didn't care now.
Well, I mean, I think we're inclined to try it just because it's a Marvel show. Because that's, we try them all.
I dare to think what Freeform are going to do with a Marvel show like that.
They actually put out a scene with this. I didn't watch it because it was just a scene from the episode, but
yeah,
they put out like a 2-minute clip of the first episode.
Which makes you wonder though, because okay, we got a trailer all the way back. Now we're getting just full clips. This has got to be finished, right?
I wonder if there's just a reason why they want it to be that time period. They want it to be June for X reason. I really don't know. I
got nothing. Makes no sense to me.
But hey, so June 7th when that's launching, because they want it in the summer for whatever reason. But next up we have some more premiere dates. We have some premiere dates from Stars actually, for a bunch of things they're doing over the next couple of months. Well, April, May. We have Howard's End. They're doing a 4-episode miniseries. Howard's End starring Haley Atwell.
I'm in.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Even she couldn't make me watch that legal drama.
Oh yeah, that other show she had on NBC, not this. Yeah. Howard's End is based on a book, I think. Two independent, unconventional sisters seeking love and meaning in an ever-changing world. I think it's a period piece. I think the picture had her in like a dress from 100 years ago or something like that. It looked like one of those kind of things. Which obviously made me lose interest completely and utterly in every way possible. Then May 6th, I was April 8th by the way, I don't know if I said that.
You did.
Then May 6th we have Vida, which is a half-hour drama. I remember this one being announced as in development at one point. This is the Mexican-American sister drama. So sisters again, actually, that was sisters in the last one. Emma and Len from the east side of Los Angeles, who couldn't be more different or distanced from each other. When circumstances force them to return to their old neighbourhood, they are confronted by the past and surprising truth about their mother's identity. So that's starting in May 6th. I think that's like a 10-episode, 12-episode, something like that. And then May 6th also, Sweet Bitter. I also remember this from when it was in development. Another half-hour drama. So I imagine these two are sharing an hour slot. They're going to be airing back to back.
They're on the same night.
Yeah. Like the novel of the same name, which is called Sweet Bitter, it tells the story of Tess, a 22-year-old who arrives in New York City ready to pursue a new life and is quickly intoxicated by the chaotic, high-adrenaline environment behind the scenes of the restaurant world.
I do remember this once you got to the final. Only once you got to the restaurant bit, I was like, oh yeah, this one. Yeah,
so that's basically that. So I don't think any of those are particularly in our wheelhouse. I don't think we'll be covering any of them, but I thought it was worth mentioning because they announced this big slate of stuff. Because they put out a new trailer for Ash vs Evil Dead Season 3, which I didn't put on the news specifically because Car doesn't watch that, but I did watch the trailer. Oh yes. Oh yes.
I'm sure it's good.
That's coming February 25th.
I did watch the first episode, to be fair.
Oh?
I mean, when it aired.
When it aired.
Was, yeah. It was fine. It was fun.
Alright. When you said that, I thought you meant you'd watched it recently.
No, I just wanted to point out, it's like, no, I have awareness, I know what the tone is, I know what it's like.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, season 3 looks good. That was basically my point. Asher's got a daughter now. He found out he's got a daughter, and he's forgetting her name and stuff, and it looks really funny, as it typically is. But no, it looks good. I always forget how much I enjoy Ash vs Evil Dead until it comes back. Like it kind of leaves my mind. I don't think about it, and then it comes back, and I see a glimpse of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is really fun. Like I forgot how much I enjoy this every time it comes back around.
There's a few of those shows that do that. Like I recently started catching up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I fell out during season 4, so I kind of picked back up where I was. Not watched much, but I'm like, god damn, I forgot how much I love this.
Yeah, I have not watched season 4 or 5, and I think obviously they're on 6 now.
I just did the Halloween of season 4.
I think next time when I watch it, I'll probably just start from the start again, and just because I always binge it. Like the last time I watched it, I re-binged 1 and watched 2 and 3 with it. Like, and then I've not watched since. So I think next time I'll probably just binge the whole thing from the start.
That's fair enough. Me and the girlfriend typically just watch an episode with dinner.
I see. But that's typically with dinner. I'll binge watch a sitcom. More often than not, and then I'll maybe put another one on when I'm going to bed or something like that. But it tends to be. But they rack up quick. I'll find I'll end up going through 3 or 4 a day just because I'll put one on because they're there. The next one's ready for when I want to watch something.
I've been there, yeah.
And I'll just keep going on, and all of a sudden I'll have none left, and I'm like, oh, the world's ending. So speaking of trailers and speaking of dates, we have another date. A lot of dates announced this week. Heathers, the reboot coming from the Paramount Network, is going to premiere March 7th at 10 PM. And they put out a trailer. Interestingly, this was billed as the Red Band trailer, which I thought wasn't, because I did not think the Paramount Network was going to be Red Band content. Sure, it's cable, so I was expecting FX levels, but this trailer was a bit more extreme than that.
It was, wasn't it? And here's what I want to say about the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Heathers. If you've seen the movie, it's like, okay, it kind of feels like, okay, this is what I expected. For better or worse?
For worse.
That's a matter of taste and opinion at that point.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. I didn't love the movie. I didn't hate the movie. I thought the movie went down a path I didn't like when I watched it. But I appreciated some of the quirkiness to the movie. The trailer for this, though, I wasn't feeling. I wasn't feeling most of these characters because it's all new characters for the most part, right? Because it's this new interpretation of the whole thing. And I wasn't like it felt like this is the not only is it the new version of Heathers, it's the emo hipster version of Heathers.
No, I get you. I mean, just when I was watching it tonally, I'm a big fan of the movie, I should point out. Tonally, it felt very similar. Turned up a little bit, a bit more sheen because it's new. You
get a glimpse of Sharon Doherty, of course, who was in the original Heathers. She's in there. But yeah,
I thought it looked like it could be fun, but it could be trash once I have a full episode of it. I mean, it's probably going to be trashy anyway. Not disputing that.
I'll be honest. My takeaway was this looks like trash. That was my takeaway upon finishing the trailer. So
that's fair. It's going to be very trashy, but it's the sort of thing where I might go, "Ooh, this is my trashy TV thing."
This is the thing, though. I feel like I just want another season of Scream Queens instead because
I get that.
Because I feel like they're kind of not a million miles apart in terms of the tone they're going for.
They're not.
And I prefer Scream Queens, but I mean...
That's fair. But this is, I stopped watching Riverdale. I didn't come back for season 2, so I haven't had any of my trashy TV since, season 1 finished. So this might fill that slot for me.
I tried watching season 2 of Riverdale, and I bailed out after 3 episodes.
Yeah, I recall.
There was a scene with the entire football team shirtless wearing red hoods making a video because they're a vigilante squad now. And I thought, you know what? I don't need this in my life.
No, my girlfriend decided to keep watching it when I said I wasn't watching season 2. I think she got about 5 episodes in and then was like, okay, I'm done.
Well, she's not got the crush on Veronica like you do.
No, she doesn't.
So she didn't have that to,
No.
And I don't.
So that is a major way of sustaining interest. I have to be honest.
And Archie's not a natural ginger. She shouldn't have that because clearly she's into gingers. I mean,
you'd think, but I don't
not
know.
really.
She gives me enough shit for it.
All right, so I get it actually. I would totally date a ginger just so I can make fun of them for being ginger all the time. I get it.
That's all I hear. I can't win an argument because it's like, yeah, shut up, you ginger. Every time.
Oh, I'm liking Paige more and more. So that's the dates. That's all the dates we've got for you. We had a lot of dates and premieres and a couple of trailers to go along with things. Yeah. Well, I mean, most of it not super interesting. Although I am actually kind of I'm very tempted by Everything Sucks. I'm curious what that's going to be. I think people have been comparing it, or at least assuming it's going to be like the 90s version of Freaks and Geeks, which I never watched, but people loved that show.
Yeah.
That was one that got cancelled after season 1, and everyone cries about it. I'm not going to make fun of those people because bring up Firefly, and we'll see how I feel.
You will get a tear in your eye.
But I got a goddamn movie to wrap that bitch up, so I'm a much happier place.
Yeah. Hey, give it time. Netflix has still got time to order the reunion.
Even all the actors who were all playing teenagers are now all in their mid-40s.
Hey, it didn't stop them with that other one. American Summer.
Yeah. Especially since that was maybe a prequel to the...
Yeah, it didn't stop them, did it? So screw it, why not?
Oh, God. Alright, so let's move on to some other news now. We've got a bit of casting here. So first up, we got another cast member for True Detective Season 3, Scott McNairy, who we recently saw in Godless. He was the sheriff on Godless.
Oh, cool.
So he's going to be in Season 3 of True Detective. He will play Tom, a father who suffers a terrible loss that ties his fate to that of 2 state police detectives over 10 years.
Cool.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say. But it's cool. He joins, of course, Mahershala Ali. Did I say that right? Mahershala. Damn it. I'll get it right one of these days.
Yeah. You got time till it airs.
I know. Well, basically I'm practicing until it airs and that. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. When it airs and we're reviewing it, I can just say his character's name. Be fine.
Yeah. You'll be like, I'll get it on the night.
But Cameron Jogo's there, and Stephen Dorff has also already been cast. So the cast is shaping up. We're getting a fluid cast. Pretty good names there as well, actually. I've liked all of these people in various things at some point or other. So cool. Kristen Wiig. We're actually on to the new shows. Kind of overlapped into the new comedy shows here. But you know how Reese Witherspoon is producing like 2 shows for Apple?
Sure.
There's a third one now. It's a comedy.
I swear, one a week at this rate.
Kristen Wiig is going to star in it.
Okay.
I quite like Kristen Wiig, actually.
I can take her or leave her.
I like her. She's been in some shit as well, but when she's involved in writing what she's in, it tends to be pretty great.
That's fair. I think I prefer her in writing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that because Paul Feig directed Bridesmaids, and Bridesmaids was really good, but she also wrote Bridesmaids. Paul Feig directed a few other movies which were all garbage, and Kristen Wiig did not write those movies, which is why I'm fairly certain that the reason why Bridesmaids is good is because Kristen Wiig wrote it.
That makes sense. There's a logic to that.
I think it was nominated for an Oscar, actually, the screenplay, that I'm thinking about it. I think so. I'm sure I remembered that. But anyway, so she is going to be starring in this, and she's also going to, I think, produce it. But it's a 10 episode half-hour comedy, and it is... They're not confirmed this is the title of the show, but it's based on a short story collection. So you assume it's probably going to take the title of this book collection, which is called You Think It, I'll Say It, which is a collection of 10 short stories. So you imagine that the episodes will all be based on a short story.
I mean, that's great for season 1.
Yeah, I wonder though if Curtis Sittenfeld, who wrote the book, is maybe working on book 2 with that in mind.
Possibly, yeah.
He'll keep ahead of them. I don't know. Yeah.
Or if not, they'll just go, right, screw it, hire some writers.
So I have no idea if the book's any good, so I have no idea what the stories are like, but I do like Kristen Wiig, and it's Amazon, more content. Here's a half-hour comedy to go along with
You mean Apple, right?
Apple, yeah, I meant to say Apple, yes.
Yeah. just checking.
Well, they both begin with A, alright? Look, I'm going to make this mistake.
They do. They're both A, they're both huge.
Yeah. That said, I don't hate Amazon the same way I hate Apple. Amazon have been a very convenient improvement to my life over the years.
This is the thing. Amazon as a corporation are dicks with their tax avoidance. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
But that goes for most companies of that level. To be
Not
quite
innocent.
honest.
I'm not saying Amazon are innocent.
No,
They're just not as annoying as Apple.
Here's the thing: when I can get shit delivered within days, like anything, I can get delivered within a couple of days.
Oh no, yeah, they sell everything
and
now.
Cheaper than most other places. Yeah, screw it. I don't give a shit. Pay tax or don't. I'm going to buy from you anyway.
Okay, on that note, let's move on to something that's very interesting. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
I've seen this.
Yeah, they formed a studio last year called Stolen Picture Studio. They're working on the first movie that's coming out, I think, later this year. But they're actually going to be, their company's going to produce their first TV show. It's called Truth Seekers. It's a half-hour comedy, a horror comedy, in fact, about a 3-person paranormal investigation team. Each installment of Truth Seekers will focus on a paranormal incident, a setup with a clear Monster of the Week potential. Each episode is going to be an adventure, a potential haunting or something. That's Peg said that. And it'll start as a very parochial idea?
I have no idea what you're trying to say there. Sorry.
Parochial? Parochial? I just don't think I know this word. I don't think I've ever heard it before.
Me either. I think you should have a quick Google.
Let's find out. What the hell does that mean? I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Here you go, folks. We're teaching you words. We're informative, even on top of all the information we're dumping.
Okay, it's not the first definition, which is relating to a church parish. Having a limited or narrow outlook or scope. Example: parochial attitudes. Assuming I'm pronouncing it right.
You might be. I don't know. I'm not seeing this word, viewers. I don't have this in front of me.
Parochial. Parochial.
I'd have to type it down, but maybe. Parochial, maybe.
Could be parochial, yeah.
I'm just thinking churches. Because you mentioned churches, that's parish.
Yeah, but that's spelled with a different letter, though.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking, maybe it links that way.
Maybe. I don't know. Simon Pegg just has to be fancy with his language and slip in words that we don't know.
I know. He's weeding out the layman.
Anyway, it'll start as a small business venture for these people, but it will expand as the series goes on to be something far more global. I guess that works with a narrow-minded definition there. Starts narrow and expands as it goes on. Annoyingly, though, I could have skipped that little phrase and just the sentence would have worked without it. I could have avoided all this damage.
It would have, but he didn't know. This is why he put it there. He put it there for the interviewer who had no clue what it was saying, and he was like, "Go on, ask me. I dare you."
Ironically, this paragraph ends with, "It's a language everyone understands, the mystery of the unknown."
What an eloquent bastard. He definitely did that on purpose. No, I'm down for this. I like Pegg and Frost a lot.
I'm just glad you didn't know what that word was either, because
no, you're all right. You're good. New to me.
Yeah. No, I like Pegg and Frost. Big fan of the Edgar Wright Continental trilogy. I enjoy Spaced.
Space is great.
I enjoy these folk when they do various things. So, admittedly, I don't know. I don't think they're actually necessarily going to star in it. This is the thing.
Probably not, by the sounds of it.
Because I could see them being in this and it would work really well. That said, plenty of other people could be in it and it could work equally well.
It's the sort of thing where I can feel like they'd be like the bosses of the company sending them out. And they'd show up, once or twice a season.
But we'd have these younger grunts who are about 20 to actually do the main plots. Yeah.
You gotta have some pretty faces.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see this being a fun time. I saw no news on what network it would be or
I wonder though,
anything like that.
How many of the networks they shop it to will say we'll take it on the condition that you're in it in some capacity?
Oh, that's true. That could happen.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's because the cynic in me is like, oh, that's what I'd do.
Yeah, honestly, I would kind of love if this ended up on a streaming service rather than a traditional TV place.
Yeah. That said, I could see it on Stars pairing with Ash vs Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, I could see it in something like that. Yeah, I definitely think a lot of crass humor could be involved, making it more
knowing what their style is. Definitely.
Yeah, but No, it's exciting. If you're a fan of those guys, it's hard not to be intrigued by that person. I almost skipped that, actually, because the way the articles were all phrased, it was like, oh, they're talking about a thing they're doing, and I thought, oh, it's just an interview. You know, I didn't see it as an announcement at first, which it's even worded differently because, you know, it has like quotes from Pegg in the description. Yeah. And normally that doesn't happen because normally it's a press release with a description, so they'll just print the press release description in.
Hey, they're gonna be awkward about it.
Yeah, awkward all the same. Anyway, so let's move on. So we have a new NBC pilot comedy called Guess Who Died, starring Hector Elizondo, who I know actually from he was the guy who replaced Taggart in the third Beverly Hills Cop movie. That is the main place I know him from. I've seen him pop up in other things, but that's the main thing I know him from.
Okay.
Are you familiar who that is at all?
I'm not by name. I mean, maybe I'd know his face.
The single camera series is described as a humorous and inspiring look at the shared joys and challenges of people experiencing life at any stage. I mean, he's older, basically. Holland Taylor's also in it. She's the female lead. So he will play Murray, a positive, upbeat senior with sparkling eyes and a keen, sharp, and wonderful sense of humour, who lives with his wife in Esperanzado? Oh, that word threw me off there. Esperanzado.
It's good to know this week's TV news is as on point as ever.
Esperanzado. There's just too many syllables. I don't like this many syllables in my words, goddammit.
We're a simple folk.
Esperanzado. Or Esperanzado. There you go, I'll do that. It's a senior community in Palm Springs, right?
Skip over it, yeah.
Taylor will play... See, this is not me. I don't know how to say this. I'm just messing up. I'm just stumbling over my words now.
He was doing this at the start as well, before the recording.
Taylor will play Patricia, a former American Airlines flight attendant who is also Murray's sister-in-law. She can be a little too proper at times, but she's sharp as tack with a great sense of humour. And interestingly, this has been produced by Norman Lear, who you may not know. I mean, I didn't really know his name either, but he's a legendary producer in the TV industry. He is 95 years old, so no surprise he's making a show about people who are old.
Oh yeah, that's an old bastard.
That is a good run, Mr. Lear.
Credit that he's still doing something.
Yeah, I think he became a big producer like in the 60s and stuff like that. So he's been doing it a long ass time, like, you know. Yeah. So this sounds like an okay idea for comedy.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Actually, I like the actor.
That usually helps with a comedy. Yeah. I find anyway.
I like the actor, so just a case of writing and how they handle it. And
see how many old jokes we have.
It'll be a lot of old jokes. Let's hope they're funny old jokes and not just easy old jokes.
No, it's true, but this is another one where maybe speechless is something to look at. Where it takes a topic that okay, maybe it's not we don't just make jokes about this, but we can still have fun with it. Because you don't want to just insult old people either, especially as it's coming from old people.
Yeah, that's fair.
So maybe have some fun with it.
No, could be good. Next up, ABC's got a pilot for a comedy. It does not mention multi or single camera, so I will assume single camera. Oh no, it does say single camera, sorry, that's just me messing up. But it comes from Last Man Standing showrunner Tim Doyle, ABC, like I said. It's untitled currently. It is set in the 1970s and revolves around an Irish Catholic family with a working class dad, traditional mum, and 8 boisterous sons. 8 of them. That,
coming from an Irish Catholic family, my mother is the youngest of 7, so... Sounds from my experience, legit.
I can top that.
Go on.
My mother's the youngest of 16.
That's fair, but is she from an Irish Catholic family?
No.
So it's not relevant. So screw you.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All the families in my community that were Irish Catholic, there's a big Irish Catholic area. They're all like that.
I think it's funny that she came from a family of 16, but when she was born, she was already an auntie, right?
Yeah.
I think it's funny that I'm an only child. I feel like there was a conscious choice.
Overcompensated.
Yeah, it's like, no more. One's enough.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm as good as 16. I think that's the point to take from that. But yeah, so they navigate the big and small changes during one of America's most turbulent decades. So it's a 70s set family comedy. It just happens to have 8 kids.
Yeah, could be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the danger is there's too many characters that some of them are going to get the shaft. The upside is, well, if some of them are shit, you got spares.
Well, here's the thing. I think what happens when you have 8 kids, I think you have 1 or 2 older kids who have proper characters and plot, and then the other kids kind of go into groups that always play together, and they just kind of always have plots as a team rather than individual characters. Because you'll have like 3 or 4 who are, you know, say 5 to 8 years old, and they'll always be together and playing together, and they'll always get into mischief together, and they'll never have their own thing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Look on the bright side, let's say it runs for like 10 years. After about 5 seasons, the older 2 get sent off to college, and then, okay, now we just get 6. And we can...
That's true, that's nice.
And we can give a couple of the younger kids more of a role now, because now they're the older ones. Unless they turn out to be shit actors. Which is always a concern, because you never know if a kid's going to turn out to be a good actor.
No, you don't. And I love it, you know, half the time, they just recast them.
So they do that sometimes, they do. Alright, so switch over to Fox. We have another comedy, single camera. It comes from Lee Daniels and Valley, oh boy, Chandrasekaran. Again, too many syllables for my liking. You know, I wish these came with like sound bites every time I got one of these names, because if I heard that I could just copy it, it'd be great.
You could probably Google them and put pronounce at the end of it, and it will come up with a way to pronounce them.
Oh sure, for common ones, yeah. I mean, I don't know about this one.
I mean,
maybe. I don't know. I think people enjoy me struggling though. I don't know.
It is part of the appeal of this show. Yeah. I think it's, you know, a large portion of our viewer base is like, yeah, let's watch Peter be shit.
Yeah, if I remember, I might even put it on the screen just so you can see it and try pronouncing it yourself. Play along at home. But yeah,
get interactive.
So it's called Our People. It's based on an Israeli series called Nevzu. Again, I may be butchering that because I mean, different language.
That's not the first show we've had recently that's based on an Israeli series.
It's not, no.
It's like the second or third in the last couple of months.
Yeah, apparently this is a new well for them to go to. It's like, oh, hey, they've got good TV shows now that are popular there. Let's try and, you know...
Let's pinch them, yeah.
Let's steal them. It follows a man from a bombastic African family who doesn't have a... This is a mistake. Variety. This is sloppy.
Oh.
This
isn't a Peter mistake. It's an actual website mistake.
This says, who doesn't have a world in their native language for privacy. A world. That's wrong. So doesn't have a word in their native language for privacy. And his fiancée from a Midwestern family as they try to build a normal life together, though nobody agrees on what normal means. So you've got this mishmatch pair, different backgrounds, typical comedy setup.
I mean, it's fine. Yeah. Nothing wrong with it. But, very typical setup, so nothing to be excited about either.
It's a family comedy. But it's another, like, family comedies can be fantastic, they can be dull, and there's nothing, it has nothing to do with the premise. It's just to do with the writing and the actors they've got given the lines. That's
absolutely
it. That's all of it. So, certainly nothing there that, and speaking of variety making mistakes, another comedy, multi-camera this time though, on Fox. It says Little Ray from Little Ray, right? But then in the description it calls him Little Rel, and the show's called Rel. So I have to assume that Ray's the mistake since they only used it once, even though Ray sounds more like a name than Rel. But
yeah,
but we'll go with Rel. I never heard of the person. So.
That sounds like an autocorrect grabbing it.
It does, actually, doesn't it? Yeah. So
although why someone from Variety is writing using an autocorrect is beyond me.
Little Rahel is producing as well as writing and starring, so very much a Little Rel show. In it, Little Rel is a prideful, self-made success who lives by the code to always believe in yourself and great things will come, but finds that attitude gets put to the test when he learns that his wife is having an affair with his barber. I remember talking about this actually when it was in development.
Yeah.
The show sees him trying to rebuild his life post-divorce as a long-distance single father on the south side of Chicago. Inherently, I'm not as into multi-camera comedies these days as I used to be, just because we've moved on. Yeah, we've talked about this a lot, but I get nothing wrong with the premise though.
It sounds fine. Yeah. Again, nothing there that I'm going, I need to check this out. But yeah, it's just fine.
I also imagine this will have a lot of him having really bad dates with lots of really weird people.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
That'll be one of the big running jokes probably in the first season.
Yeah.
I can predict it. Alright, so we're on to the dramas, and we're actually not even quite even halfway through our news yet, so we get a lot of dramas.
Oh, that's a terrifying thought.
Now, I mean, it's not much over half, but it's still. The point being is that there's a lot of its dramas this week.
The question is, though, are there any interesting ones?
Well, let's start with a new science fiction show from JJ Abrams.
That's a yes, then. Well, sorry, I knew this one was coming.
Yeah, you can at least let me finish the JJ Abrams part before you jumped in. Alright, so JJ Abrams has got a sci-fi drama in the works, and it's actually in a bidding war right now between HBO and Apple.
Please, HBO. I can't deal with more stuff going to Apple. I can't.
Hey, if nothing else, it's showing you that Apple's getting serious about this. Like, we talked about this last time, but it's insane how much stuff they've got in development or greenlit before they've even started putting stuff out.
Do you know what? Other companies, I'd say they're overstretching, but Apple has the resources.
Oh, they do. They absolutely
do. They're clearly going, no, we're investing in this properly.
But like I said last week, that's what makes it so fascinating and unique, is that they're coming with a big slate of stuff at the start.
No, I mean, even like we compared it earlier because of your cock-up, but Amazon and Apple, like, Amazon, again, another huge company with resources to spare. They got into this game slowly.
Yeah, they dipped their toes in the water. Even CBS Access, which is an offshoot of an actual network who has lots of projects, still felt like, just a couple of things at first.
The sensible approach, one might say.
One might say. That said, if you're paying for a service, if you're asking people to pay for a service, having a big slate to say, here, this is all coming, is maybe the sensible as well.
That's the thing. Amazon had the advantage of rolling into Prime as a whole concept, so they can kind of just get people in, and they have just an extra part.
And they also have, much like Netflix, just a library of movies they're licensing at any one time to sort of bolster the service. So, but anyway. So, this is a bidding war right now, HBO and Apple. There's apparently other bidders who are... Warner Bros. Is said to be open to other bidders. So, Warner Bros. Is making it with JJ Abrams. And, of course, Bad Robot, which is JJ Abrams' company. Which excites me because...
Because you want to hear the Bad Robot again on TV show.
Exactly. I want to watch a show where at the end every week I get Bad Robot. Like, I just want it. I want it in my life. But this is the thing. So JJ Abrams started both Lost and Fringe, two shows which I love dearly.
Yeah.
So this is really exciting to me. Here's what we know about the plot so far. This is the thing. I actually went digging for this because some sites were giving me like a really quick thing, but others had a few more details. Like they'd sleuthed a few things out.
The juicy bits.
Some insider knowledge, like I think that's actually how this was phrased. From insiders, we've heard this kind of thing.
Should we stick with the official facts first?
I've said all the official facts.
Oh, is that it? Okay, there's nothing more to go on.
Well, I mean, some of the stuff in the description was the stuff that was also popping up elsewhere, so some of it's more confirmed than others. Okay. But I'll just say the whole thing. It's about a family consisting of a mother who works as a scientist, her husband, and their young daughter, who all get into a terrible car crash. After the mother winds up in a coma, her daughter begins digging through her experiments in the basement and winds up transporting to another land amid a world's battle against a monstrous, oppressive force. Her father then follows her into this new world.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. Most of the sites had the oppressive force part. Like a girl gets transported, possibly to an alien planet, where there's an oppressive force.
It's funny, because I know it's a sci-fi show, we're being told that, but that description sounds very like a fantasy thing to me. Like, transported to a different world with an oppressive force. That's Fantasy 101.
It's fantasy until you start adding in what the actual force is.
Until we see what we is. If it's alien stuff, sure.
Which I think it is. From the sounds of it, it sounds like a, almost Fringe-esque kind of like science experiment thing that's going to accidentally send her to whatever.
But going to get there much sooner than Fringe did.
Oh sure, yeah. Not that Fringe ever went to an alien planet, but no spoilers for Fringe, of course. But so I'm excited about this. I think Abrams, because some people hate how he sets up mysteries, even if he doesn't intend. Hell, we've seen that. I mean, the new Star Wars kind of shows how people get really mad that he sets up mysteries and they don't kind of pay off. But the beauty of when he is kind of in more control over the course of the show, not that it was necessarily with Lost and Fringe, those were both good examples of other people really taking the reins. They both got good showrunners to sort of take over afterwards and really rode it home, if you will. But when these mysteries are handled well, I really enjoy the mysteries he sets up.
That's fair.
Whenever I hear him speak about his mystery box and the idea of like building mystery, even if there is no set answer right from the get-go, I'm actually kind of cool with that. I don't have this anger towards it.
That's fair. I like JJ Abrams more in concept than I do in practice.
But here's the interesting thing, though. He's setting this up that he's not going to be staying with this and running it for its duration.
Yeah.
This is going to be like Lost in Friends. You'll probably direct the pilot. He'll give them the great ideas, and then he's going to leave, and then someone else is going to be the one running the show. So, and much like Lost in Fringe, I think there's the potential there for it to become something truly special under the right, the right leadership.
Sure, I can't speak to Lost. Not watched anything except odd bits here or there.
You haven't even watched you haven't watched the good parts of Fringe, though. You've only seen season 1.
I've seen season 1 and 2.
Have you finished that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's pretty good. I'll get back to it one day when I have time.
Season 2 of Fringe got really goddamn good, and then
it's definitely better than 1. Don't get me wrong.
And then
it's much better.
They just kept getting better. 1 or 2 hiccups aside at various points. Honestly, Fringe might have one of the most satisfying series finales I've ever seen. I love that finale.
Bold statement.
I don't think. I think when like Fringe started and Lost was still on and Lost was in maybe like season 3 or 4, if you'd asked me then if I'd ever prefer Fringe to Lost, I'd have probably laughed in your face. But by the end, I might prefer Fringe overall as a finished show.
Season 1 of Fringe isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it's very networky.
Oh, it's plot of the week, absolutely.
Yeah.
It gets much more serialized as it goes on.
Yeah.
Much more. But I'm down for alien worlds. I'm down for fighting oppressive forces. I'm down for all this. I'm into it.
It sounds cool as shit.
I'm into it. The amount of good sci-fi shows potentially in development that we've been covering on this news for the past year are kind of insane, actually. We keep getting more of them.
Sci-fi TV is the thing at the minute.
We're in the business of sci-fi TV, and business is apparently booming. So, hell, we got Altered Carbon launching on Netflix in like 2 weeks.
I'm seeing every so often from Netflix you'll get like trailers in the cinema or on TV. I'm getting those for Altered Carbon now. I'm excited because it's so rare that they do that, and they typically do it when they feel like, okay, no, this is going to be a big thing.
Oh, they spent a lot of money in this. They're pushing it.
Yeah.
Alright, so remember how last week we recorded earlier in the day and I said, I bet something big is going to be announced after we're done recording? Sure enough, they decided to announce last week about, whilst I was like exporting the edit, right? So it wasn't like we could even like quickly record another thing, right?
No, because I actually said, should we do something? And he's like, nah, it's too late already.
Yeah. But they announced that a John Wick TV show is in development at Starz. The current plan, now this is not officially confirmed. There was some interviews after the fact with one of the guy who's going to be running it or whatever, the producers, and they mentioned that the current plan is 8 episodes. It's going to be called the Continental, which if you've seen the John Wick movies, I won't get too spoiler for the movies, but the Continental's basically this place where all the assassins who kind of exist on this network with each other can kind of go, and on Continental grounds, which is this hotel in the movie, there is no violence. You're not allowed to act out. So the idea is that these assassins all live in this dangerous world where they're constantly watching for their backs, their lives, they're constantly in danger, but when they step into that hotel, everything's safe.
It's the safe zone. It's neutral. Yeah. It's like, okay, everyone's on even ground here.
It's basically the main centre of the mythology that is John Wick. Because obviously John Wick's mainly known for its good action, like gunfights and combat and hand-to-hand and all that stuff. This is the sort of the main part of the mythology, and it's a big part of the first 2 movies. And obviously there's going to be a 3rd movie, and so the idea is that this Continental show is going to be another pillar in the John Wick universe, which is insane to me that after, like, I liked the first one. I remember seeing the first movie, and it was so hyped up that I remember thinking, yeah, it was good, but I don't know why it's been hyped up to the extent that it was.
That's fair.
And then I watched the second one, not that long ago, actually. I only watched the second one a couple of months ago. And I thought, that was better than the first one. I thought it improved. I thought it was a tighter story, and I thought the pacing was great, and the action was obviously really good.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with everything there. And then, the fact that we got a John Wick comic started not so long ago.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, so, that's by Greg Pak.
Oh, that's interesting. So they're really pushing John Wick. Like, it almost annoys me that we finally get a new IP. Like a genuine, interesting and new IP, and immediately Hollywood's just like, let's do everything. Let's just milk it dry.
Yeah. I get it while it's hot.
But I can't say this is not interesting. Obviously, the director of the movies is producing. He might end up directing an episode, maybe. I wouldn't surprise me if he did.
It's typical of how these things go, isn't it?
They're saying that they've not like formally done anything yet. They've not formally actually got them confirmed, but they're saying they want Ian McShane, because in the movies he runs the Continental, he runs the hotel, which is interesting because he of course is also on American Gods, which is also a Starz show. So they've got at least an easy way to contact him.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not out the realms of possibility. He's very open to doing TV. I mean, he was on, obviously American Gods. He was on Game of Thrones the year before. 8
episodes again. It's not a huge commitment, and they're saying they do want Keanu Reeves to guest star, not necessarily to be a lead role, but to show up once or twice.
I think it's possible because he's quite invested in the franchise.
Yeah, he's a producer on the movies as well. Yeah.
So I think he might be down for it. Not as a regular, but here and there, when he's got time.
I can see it. But we do actually have. I'll read you this statement here. There's a few other sort of kind of potential plot details and whatnot. So there's some stuff about Keanu Reeves. He's expected to. He's not confirmed, but he's expected to reprise his role for a cameo guest starring role or whatever. He is executive producer on the show, but I think that's just kind of by default because he's a producer of the movies.
Yeah.
But they're talking about basically focusing on a new character. He won't be an assassin at the very beginning. I don't want to give too much. This is a quote directly from the producer, by the way, showrunner. So I don't want to give too much about the story, but it's someone who's new to this world. His origin story, whether you go back to the beginning, unknown to him, has some ties to the world. I think the story will be told present day, but a lot of the present day drama will be informed by what happened in the past. So soon we'll get some flashbacks, and he's new to the spy world, the assassin world, and all the rest of it. I think the timeline of the show runs parallel with the timelines of the movies. So
I'm down for this. It makes it accessible to people because it's because you have that introduction based off that.
Speaking of Fringe, actually, I wonder if they'll get, because the concierge in the hotel, Lance, his name's escaping me, but he was on Fringe. I wonder if we'll get him. Obviously, he's done a lot of TV, so he'd maybe be open for it.
Again, very very possible.
That'd be a cool bit of continuity if they get him for it to actually be in the hotel all the time.
Yeah. No, that would be.
Lance Reddick, I want to say. I don't know. I'm forgetting. But so that's cool. What's funny is I don't think I would have necessarily, like you said, what movie do you want a TV show spin-off of? I don't know if I had to pick John Wick.
Definitely wouldn't have been the first thing that comes to mind.
Part of the reason being is not necessarily because I don't like John Wick and I don't want more of it, because I actually quite like John Wick. It's more that John Wick's mainly good for its action and how it's shot. And I don't know if that necessarily can be translated to a TV show.
No, it might not. There's only one way to find out.
That's true. We'll find out.
That said, I do actually like what mythology is there, and the second movie expanded on that quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're drawing from nothing. This is stuff that, this exists, this is established, and I'm a fan of what is there. So if it's going to build on that, maybe it'll make me more invested in John Wick as a franchise.
Yeah, it may actually bolster it and do all these things. My main question, though, I think 8 episodes is smart, especially if they want to try and make them slick and feel like they actually have the action of the movies. But that'd be my main thing, is like, what will the gunplay, what will, all the scenes from the movie where Keanu Reeves is like going through a hallway and dodging bullets and like spinning and shooting and all that stuff.
They're going to have to hire a damn good choreographer.
And I'm not saying you can do it. I mean, sometimes, we'll watch an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D., for example, and we'll get a winner of like Sky doing some cool stuff in a hallway. So, and, speaking of hallways, what about Daredevil?
Exactly.
It's possible, but will it happen, and will we get like a consistent 8 episode thing where, because that's the main appeal of the movies, right? That's why
it is. Yeah.
They're loved. So if they can pull that off, then I would be excited for an 8 episode season of this.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it existing at the very least.
Also, I mean, admittedly, they could change this, but points to them for just calling it the Continental and not John Wick Chronicles the Continental or John Wick Saga Continental. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm with you.
Where they'd want to like shove in the name. Honestly, if anything, I kind of wish the movies were called the Continental. I don't like the name John Wick just because it's a character's name. I don't know.
I get that, and it hems them into his character.
Yeah, it does. I'm not a fan when someone's got a normal name and then the movie or the show's just named their name.
Yeah,
I always go back to.
We spoke about this recently.
Yeah, I always go back to John Carter.
Yeah,
I hate that title so much. Or
Yeah,
Lucy.
there's a reason that flopped. And that one.
Yeah. Now, Lucy did quite well, actually.
Well, yeah, at the box office, critically.
Oh, yeah, critically, yeah. Shit. But Scarlett Johansson brings in the money. So,
that she does. That she does.
And you can find more Scarlett Johansson news in our movie video later this weekend.
Ooh, sneak peek.
Yeah. Oh, no, wait, that was last week. Never mind. Ignore that.
Oh, I thought you had something new for me.
Oh, because we had that Black Widow script news last week.
Yeah. I thought you had something new for me.
I'm thinking of last week.
See, again, I don't see any of this news in advance. He hits me with this by surprise, so...
Because I like to get reactions, because sometimes it'll be something you've not seen and it's quite cool, and you'll be, oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But now I'm just disappointed.
I'm sorry. Alright, so we have another series in development from Blake Masters, who was one of the writers on Falling Water. I don't know if you remember the USA
I remember that
network
existing,
show.
Yeah. I think that got cancelled or renewed recently. One of those. I just saw some headlines about it.
It definitely got a season 2. It may have been cancelled since then, though. But
I saw some headlines about it in the last week or two.
But yeah, so it's a new show called Aim High, and it is described as a dramedy centered around a southern family. And I think this is AMC. I think I might have cut off the first letter because it just says MC is developing at the start. So I'm going to make a guess and say it's AMC, but if I'm wrong, there's just a company called MC.
Which MC? MC who?
Hammer.
It's the only one you can think of, isn't it?
Yeah. Who else do you know that starts with MC?
I'm sure there's lots in that scene. I know. In fact, I know there's lots in that scene. I just can't remember any of them right now, and I'm gonna get shit for that at some point.
I mean, yeah, you wouldn't expect me to know any of them, so it's fine.
No, I should.
I'm surprised I was even to pull out Hammer out my ass, to be honest.
Can you imagine if MC Hammer was producing this? Whatever it is.
MC Hammer's just spending his personal millions on developing this show because he's really into this dramedy idea.
I love that. I hope that happens one day.
Alright, moving on. SyFy has greenlit a show. Interestingly, though...
Wait. Was that all the information on that show?
Oh, that's all we knew about that one, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. I thought you were going to tell me more about it.
No, there was not a lot there. Very, very straight and to the point.
Okay, fine.
But SyFy has greenlit a show, but interestingly, though, not for the US Sci-Fi channel. Only for the international Sci-Fi channel.
Oh, things are getting complex.
I don't know why. It's weird. But for some reason, NBC Universal has greenlit this for Sci-Fi International for Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Latin America, and Australia. So most places. So
everywhere except
North America,
US and Canada,
yeah. Basically, yeah. But yeah, so this is called The Outpost. It is an original fantasy series. It is from Stargate producer Dean Devlin and Stargate SG-1 showrunner Jonathan Glassner, which is cool, actually, because I've heard good things about SG-1. Never watched it, but I've heard good things.
Maybe one day.
It's a 10-episode series, the first season, and it is apparently coming before the end of 2018, so they're going to be shooting it soon, so something to look forward to this year. The Outpost will star Jessica Green, who... Oh, actually, yeah, I looked into this because it said Jessica Green in brackets, it had the, something she's been in, and it said Ash vs. Evil Dead, and I went, oh, who was she in that? And I actually googled her.
Or did she have a tiny bit part?
I found no evidence. I actually went through Ash vs. Evil Dead looking for a Jessica Green. I found no evidence of Jessica Green ever being in Ash vs. Evil Dead. So this might be a mistake.
Did you try Green? Is this got an E on the end as well? This?
No.
Did you try it with an E on the end? And they've just typoed it.
Oh, I didn't. That could be a possibility. But I actually googled Ash vs. Evil Dead Jessica Green, and it was giving me IMDb pages of Ash vs. Evil Dead, but it was only giving me it because there was like a producer named something Green or whatever. There was no...
Okay.
Like, I went hunting thinking, oh, I'll know her face then because I watched that show. But no, none.
Shoddy reporting from...
It'll either be Variety or Deadline. I can't remember which one.
Let's throw it on Variety. We're giving them shit already.
Yeah, they already messed up that other article.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's going to play Talon, a lone survivor of a race called the Black Bloods. After her village is destroyed by mercenaries, she sets out to find the killers of her family, discovering along the way that she has mysterious powers, which ultimately she must use to battle a fanatical religious dictator. I don't know why I paused there. But
sounds like a fantasy show. I'm in.
It does. Yeah, I'm less excited. I'll try it though. I'm going to try most episode 1s really, but I'll see how it goes.
That's, you know, again, that's fantasy staples. Oh yeah, okay. Family dead. Oh, you've got powers. Okay, I'm in.
We're not done with fantasy though.
Hit me. Give me something to be excited about.
All right, Marvista Entertainment has announced they've acquired the rights to the new book Sinless from Sarah Tarkoff to make a TV show. It is the first novel in the Eye of the Beholder series. So it's a series of books. I don't know if it kind of sounds like one of these ones where they've only just started coming out. Like maybe this is the only one out so far. But the series is set in a near future dystopian. This isn't the fantasy one, I don't think. There's another fantasy one.
Doesn't say. This doesn't sound very fantasy right now.
There's definitely another one. There's another one that comes from a young adult novel later on. I recall it. But anyway, the series is set in a near future dystopian society in which right and wrong are manifested by beauty and ugliness. Those who are good are blessed with beauty, while those who are not suffer horrifying consequences, disfigurement, or even death. When a cleric's daughter stumbles onto information that proves her world is more complicated than it seems, she finds herself at the centre of an epic battle where good and evil are not so easily distinguished. Despite all her efforts to live a normal life, she is forced with a series of decisions that will risk the lives of everyone she loves, and ultimately her own.
Okay, it got more generic as it went on.
Yeah.
Like the start of that, I was really into. You know, the beauty ugly thing was really reminding me of the Fable game series, where if you played those, where if you do good actions, your character becomes, you know, better looking. If you do evil actions, you know, they get disfigured and scarred and ugly, and, you know, grow devil horns.
Naturally, I assume there's some corruption going on though, where it's not actually if you do good or bad. It's just people who have the connections to make sure they look good. Like, you know,
most likely, or it's going to be one of these where the people who do bad, they did do bad, they look ugly, and they get shunned because of it, so they do more, and it's, you know, this vicious cycle. Could go down that route.
Yeah. Next up, we have producer Barry O'Brien. See, if your last name is O'Brien, do you name your kid Barry? I mean,
absolutely. You want that alliteration?
Do you? Okay.
Sorry, you're a fan of comics.
I am, but hey, if you're going to do that, though, go full hog and call him Brian O'Brien.
Oh, well, that's just cruel.
Oh, but Barry O'Brien's not cruel.
That's not. It's got a nice ring to it. It rolls off the tongue.
But he's worked on Castle and CSI Miami for his credits.
Okay, so I shouldn't really care about anything this guy
does.
This
is the thing. This is IDW Entertainment who are developing this show.
Oh yeah, I forgot they exist.
Yeah, they're now making shows. This is the thing they're doing. It's an adaptation of Jonathan Kellerman's best-selling Alex Delaware novels. Alex Delaware? Why would you call your character in your novel series Alex Delaware?
It's a pretty boring-ass name, isn't it?
Well, it's because Delaware is the most boring place on the planet.
It is pretty boring. I've never been there, but I wouldn't want to, because it's boring sounding as shit.
Where was the last movie set in Delaware? No action movies, no horror movies, not even romantic comedies. You don't get things set in Delaware.
Why would you?
I mean, no offense to anyone born there. It's not your fault.
Look, movie producers ignore it for a reason.
Anyway, so they got the worldwide entertainment rights to the Alex Delaware series and are developing a project as a straight-to-series run. Launched in 1985 with When the Bow Breaks, the novel follows Alex Delaware, a forensic psychologist who works with the LAPD to assist in solving murder cases. His partner in crime, Milo Sturgis, is a gay homicide detective. That's starting to sound like a Fox show. The series has been praised by mainstream critics and the LGBT community for creating realistic and developed characters. So it sounds like the premise is pretty, you know, normal cop stuff.
I get why Barry O'Brien's a producer, given his past work.
But it sounds like the reason why the people like the books is because it's really well written. The characters are really deep and thought out. So if it translates to the show, then that could be good.
It could.
And presumably, if you're trying to adapt this, that'd be the point of trying to adapt it, is to bring the depth with it. Yeah, that always doesn't happen, of course. But if they can do that, then it'll maybe something worth checking out. If it ends up just being like CSI Miami, then in which case, you know.
I think that would be my fear of getting someone like that involved at the producer level, is they have that kind of influence and power to shape the show into what they think, and he might go, no, this is what's a success. Let's do this again.
But then maybe they hired him because
so they want someone from that side of things. Yeah. No, it's possible.
Like, we've got writers who we know can handle the other stuff, so we want him to produce it because he can right the ship in terms of the cop stuff. I don't know. Yeah. All right, next up is this the oh no, this is not the fantasy thing. I wish it was fantasy. So Michael Will's Fire and Fury inside the Trump White House is.
Oh, I'm reading that at the minute.
Yeah, well, apparently it's already getting turned into a TV show.
I'm down. It's bloody excellent, this book.
Now, admittedly, I wasn't even going to put this in at first because I wasn't sure if it's going to be like a documentary series where it's like interviews and stuff, like detailing like the stuff that it mentions in the book, or is it actually going to not fictionalize it, but like actually recreate it and do as a show. So on that note, I was not going to put it in, but I also decided against it ultimately because it's too big to completely ignore. So I wanted to mention it and say it's happening.
Yeah.
But it's basically just all these crazy stories about Trump in his first year in the White House.
I'm about 5 chapters in. It's mind blowing. Like I can't even describe. You just have to read it for yourself. Yeah. Honestly, I urge everyone to go and check it out.
Do you know what I love? I love that as soon as the first year ended, this book was basically ready to go. I love that there could be 4 of these. It's a series. Year 2. Here's the second book.
I love that. Apparently, the guy who wrote it is a journalist. Mm-hmm. It sounds like they let him in at the start, and then just kind of forgot he was there.
And he just
he just hung around and got little tidbits off everyone, and holy shit, is it insane!
I would expect no less. No studio is currently attached, but
but they're all going to be wanting it.
Oh, they will. It's insane to me that we're going to get this stuff before he even leaves the White House. Because I would expect it to happen, but I would think, it'll happen after he's left, and we can just really dig into it. But no,
yeah, we've done that with many a president.
Yeah, no, with him, we're getting it all while he's still there, and I love it because he's going to hate it, and that'll make it double entertaining.
Oh, I can't wait to see his tweets saying the ratings are really bad.
I bet there won't be though. They'll be great.
There will be, but his tweets will be like, "Oh, ratings bad."
It'll be pulling in Super Bowl numbers, and he'll be, "Oh, these are the worst ratings ever. This is fake. Nielsen are misrepresenting the numbers."
I can't wait. This is beautiful.
All right, next up, we talked about this before. This was something that was in development, but George Clooney's Catch-22 series has been officially greenlit by Anonymous Content and Paramount TV, and it's been ordered by Hulu, so that's where it's going to end up. So it's a limited series based in Catch-22, and it's the whole thing about the pilot who, if you're aware it's a suicide mission and you agree to go on the thing, to go into battle knowing you're going to die, you're officially insane, so you can be discharged on insanity. But if you make the choice to say, no, this is insane, I want discharged, then they argue, no, you're sane because you're making that choice, hence the Catch-22. There was a big paragraph explaining that. I just summed it up in a much more digestible way.
So you claim.
That was more digestible. Absolutely was.
I like how you're reading the paragraph going, yeah, I did that better.
I did. 6 episodes. This is going to be 1961 novel by Joseph Heller, and it's set in Italy during World War II.
I'm down for this. Sounds like it could be solid. I'm
not particularly excited one way or the other. Sounds fine.
I think as a 6-episode limited series, I'm down for it.
Yeah. Okay. I can see what you say.
If it had been like, this is a season 1, 8 episodes, 10 episodes, I'd be like, okay, where are you going with this? But with them going, no, this is it.
But see that other fantasy thing I was talking about? I think that might be a movie in the movie news.
Oh, for God's sake!
Because we're still not getting to it, and now I'm well, this is the problem. I've been doing both the newsies, alongside each other, so they're all kind of blending together. And I think,
oh well, this is it, folks. You got to go watch that movie news now if you want the full story. This is his way of pushing you towards it.
Yeah.
He's been hyping it up for like 6 news stories now, and it's like, you know what? I think that's coming in a couple of days.
Oh dear. All right. So next up, so the Bravo show's ending. Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce. But the person behind that, Lisa Edelstein, or Edelstein maybe. Oh, Edelstein, I think. I'll say Edelstein. She is developing a new show for herself, actually. She's going to star in it. Like, she's one of these people who, writes and stars and all and stuff. And she's working that with Universal Cable Productions, so it could end up maybe most likely at USA, but they could shop it around elsewhere if they want to. But it is an hour-long dramedy based on the book Confessions of a Sociopath by M.E. Thomas. Not M.C. Thomas. M.E. Thomas. just for the record.
Shame.
The project currently in development is about a woman, played by Edelstein, who is clinically diagnosed as a sociopath and must figure out how to live her life with this new understanding about herself. So not a lot to go on. But I think my sense of humour, lends itself to a show following a sociopath.
Mine too. What does that say about us?
Probably a lot. More than we're willing to admit.
Yeah. More than is going to be dug into on this news episode. Probably.
But yeah, I mean, I've never seen this show on Bravo. I have no idea what
I've never even heard of it, to be honest.
Yeah, with you. What her work's like. I mean, to be honest, I don't think we can name a single show that's on Bravo. Not now.
No. No.
So. But I mean, I think there's potential there. I like that it's a dramedy. I think having a bit of comedy in it is kind of what sells it to me.
It tells you more what to expect of the tone, for sure.
I expect having some fun with its ideas. Right, so we've got a Freeform batch, because Freeform decided to announce a bunch of things this week.
What a bunch of knobs.
So first up, they are developing their first ever period drama as Freeform.
Oh boy. Do they have the budget for this? Whatever it is?
We'll discuss that when you know what the idea is. Cleopatra.
Oh, definitely not.
Michael Seitzman, or Seitzman. I never know what the IEEI. It varies depending on the context.
It does.
But yeah, so Cleopatra is described as an epic female-centric adventure series following the life of the most beloved ruler in Egyptian history, Cleopatra, who, after being exiled as a young woman, decides to stand up against the patriarchy and fights back for her freedom and rightful place as heir. The tale will follow her rise and transition to becoming not only the first, last, and only female pharaoh, but also the world's most powerful person, all while engaging in a classic love triangle that changed the map of the world forever.
You go Freeform. Credit for not hiding this bullshit.
I was never into this even from the start, right? Especially because I can see this show on their budget, and I'm just like, eh. But then, like,
can you imagine their pyramids?
But they did not hold back. They're like, no, love triangle. That's what it is, and they're doing all that. And I'm like, yeah, just do your thing.
Part of me gives them credit for just going, no, it's love triangles. Come on, you know what we do. Let's do this. They're not hiding it.
I'm surprised you don't want to watch the pilot. Just you with a siren.
I'll be honest.
Nonsense.
There is a morbid curiosity going on. I'm interested in that era of history, but I don't think I'm interested in it from Freeform.
Dear. So what else have they announced? Again, this starts off sounding pretty good, but I mean, none of the last one sounded good to me specifically. I don't really care about it, but this one sounds much more in our wheelhouse, and then it just kind of...
Go on. Make me disappointed.
So, Freeform has started developing a show called OGS, as in AUGS, OGS, and it's a sci-fi.
I'm into this already, because I know what OGS are.
Ah, yeah. I mean, I know what they are. I feel like it's not a common thing that people just jump to. No. You know, OGS as in augmented people kind of idea, right? As sci-fi fans, obviously, we just both jump to that.
Yeah, I hear that and I go, oh yeah, go on, give it to me.
But anyway, so it's a futuristic hour-long drama from Dark Skies director, writer, producer. I actually forgot. I don't think I read that the first time I read this story. I saw Dark Skies. If it's the movie I think it is, oh dear. OGS takes place in the all-too-near future when society is divided into two classes. OGS, the privileged who can afford the latest technological, biological enhancements that provide an always-connected, augmented reality view of the world. See, that sounds good so far. And the norms, the disenfranchised rest who have become a nearly invisible underclass.
This is classic sci-fi.
Yeah, this first part sounds great.
Okay, go on. Make me regret that you're telling me.
Do you know what I love about this? Is that for a lot of shows that would be all they give us, right? But they actually give us a second paragraph that then goes into what the plot and the characters are. But that's just
you stop there, and we'd be going, oh, maybe we'll give Freeform a shot.
Yeah, that sounds like a great, just setting up the world. This is what the world's like. Sounds great. Here's the second paragraph.
Go on.
Set in the moneyed suburban enclave of Cambio Point. Oggs follows Jennifer Wells. Jennifer with a G, by the way, which is a weird...
Yeah.
Have you seen that spelled that way before?
Oh, why would you do that?
I almost want to say Jennifer just to be a prick.
The close thing is, genuine.
You mean genuine?
No, genuine. It's a rapper, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. No. That's spelled with a G, because it's like genuine, but it's...
Yeah, but at least there I see why it's because he's going for the genuine comparison.
Yeah, no. I get you. But I mean, that's the thing. That's the closest I can think of.
But yeah, so it follows Jennifer Wells, an ambitious and popular Ogg girl who falls in love with Bodie Bright, the mysterious new guy in town. The only problem is, he's a norm.
See, even on another channel, I'd be like, okay, because it's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, it is, but I'm not done yet.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So he's a norm.
Oh, okay, there's more.
And this causes her friends and family to turn against her. As she realises being enhanced isn't all it's cracked up to be, Jennifer is forced to make a choice between the privileged augmented world she knows and the strange boy she loves, who prefers to see things through his unenhanced eyes. But her choice will not be easy, as forces on both sides conspire to keep them apart.
So it's future augmented Romeo and Juliet, but shit.
What do you mean, but shit? It's Romeo and Juliet, therefore it's already shit.
No, come on. No. I will not accept that.
Name a version of Romeo and Juliet. No, I mean, when I say a version, I don't mean like an adaptation of it. I'm saying name a story with a Romeo and Juliet plot device that I like.
Oh, that you like. Oh, okay.
Or that I might like.
That you would like. I don't know. I'd have to rack my brains, and I'm tired, I'll be honest. I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. I can't think of one. Maybe there is.
I mean, I know there's a few that I'm into, but not that things that you enjoy.
Name them.
West Side Story's one for a start.
I'm good.
That's a great movie.
One
of the newish Star Wars books, Lost Stars. One of the best of the new ones. That's Romeo and Juliet. It's fantastic.
You're such a nerd right now.
I know, but it's a phenomenal book.
That's just Star Wars, but it's canon, by the way. It's canon.
I'm just specifying. It's one of the newer ones. It's just
Hey, don't get me started. I'll start talking about Pal Speed Up, and we can have a good conversation about that.
I'm just saying, that one. They even named the planet. Because obviously, Romeo and Juliet was. I think it was Verona. They named the planet something very similar. Very similar sound, began with the V, and had all the syllables there. And I was like, okay, no, you're not hiding it. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Someone's going to think of an example in the comments, I'm sure. I'm sure you like this movie.
No, but that's the thing. It's such a common idea now that it has to be one that you like. I just
Well, it does. See, that probably is when it's part of the story. The problem is, though, this story is completely revolving around that as the central thing, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing when you've got a show that's got another plot, and that's like a subplot in it, or whatever. Yeah. Right?
No,
that's a bit different. This is completely just, this is all about the romance and nothing else.
Yeah. No, and that, again, I'm fine with that, but not on Freeform. And not on their budget doing this as well.
I wouldn't necessarily be as dead set against it somewhere else, but on Freeform, I can just see the cheesy love triangle.
That's the thing. On Freeform, it's teenage Romeo and Juliet, and that I don't want.
Do you want elderly Romeo and Juliet?
No, I want just normal Romeo and Just want Romeo and Juliet, if I'm going to have that.
Weren't they quite young in the original story?
I mean, they are, but when I mean teenage, I mean it's not pandering to a teenage audience.
Sure, but I mean, they're of an age that's probably younger than the actors that'll be playing the teenagers in this.
They probably were, but they weren't doing bullshit modern day teenage drama.
I mean, maybe I'm remembering this wrong. Wasn't Juliet like technically underage by our standards?
Oh, almost certainly.
Yeah, that's just it's the thing. All right, so here's something also out of Freeform. They announced is in development. It's got a put pilot commitment. We're in reboot territory.
Also, hang on. Sorry, Freeform have got reboots now.
They've got a reboot, and what's amusing about this is they're taking an old show, they're rebooting it, and they're actually applying one of the trends that we've had to it.
Oh! I can't wait to hear which one.
That wasn't originally there. So have you ever heard of Party of Five? Have you ever heard of that show?
Can't say I have.
Neve Campbell and Matthew Fox were in it in the 90s. They were on this like I don't know if it was an hour long or a sitcom. I think it was an hour long. Basically, the plot of that show was that it was 5 kids. They were the 2 older kids, teenagers, but the parents died at the start of the show. They died in a car crash or something like that. And it was the whole show was about the fact that the 2 older kids had to take care of the rest of the kids, right?
Sure, makes sense.
Right, that was the show. I think it was popular at the time. I never saw it. I heard about it later because I knew Matthew Fox from Lost. There was that show coming up again, and I knew Neve Campbell, of course, from the Scream movies and the odd other things she may have popped up in. But they were both on that show. So here's what they're doing. So instead of the parents dying at the start of the show, something else happens to them. See if you can guess.
I'm trying to think, what trends have we had?
Fits in with a trend that a lot of the pilots and in-development shows have had in the last 6 months to a year. Instead of dying...
I don't know, I'm blanking on the trends.
Instead of dying, they get deported.
Of course. I was thinking, do they move in with someone else, like, for whatever reason? I was like, what's going on here?
It's a Mexican family, and the parents get deported, so the kids are left on their own. So the kids don't die in this one. So I imagine we'll still get maybe scenes with the parents phoning them every so often.
Why do the kids not go with them?
I'm sure there'll be reasons. I'm sure they'll have something to...
Okay, fine, but will there be good reasons?
They're in good schools or something, I don't know. And the older kids are old enough to kind of be the guardians, so they say, no, you stay because...
Alright, fair enough.
This is better for your future or whatever. Like, you know, I'm sure they'll have reasons. But yeah, so it actually interestingly, it comes from the original series creators.
Okay.
So they're doing it themselves. Chris Keyser and Amy Lippman are doing it. So yeah.
So is this going to be a sitcom or an hour long?
I think this is an hour long. I think this is a...
Okay. I think I prefer this idea as a sitcom.
Because do you know what it reminds me of, oddly? It reminds me... I don't know if you've ever heard of this movie, but I saw a movie when I was younger called Don't Tell Mum the Babysitter's Dead.
Yeah, okay, I've seen it.
Yeah, and it's like it's the 2 older teenagers who sort of look after the rest of the kids while their mother's away for like a couple of months because the babysitter dies.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of that, but that was purely a comedy, that show.
That's the thing, this idea,
movie.
I'm like, I see this as a sitcom, I understand what this is. I don't know what this show is as an hour-long drama.
I mean, it could be a dramedy, though. It could be... It could.
I don't know what the hour-long version of this show looks like in my mind.
You've got the older kids really struggling with becoming adults too early, and the stress of that, and it's definitely less interesting, I think, inherently, but it's not... Like, I see why this show might have worked in the past and why it has potential.
Okay.
Even if it doesn't necessarily inherently scream at me as something I would love to watch. But so the reboot will follow the 5 Buendias children. I think I nailed that. I'm usually okay with the Spanish.
Certainly didn't.
I think I'm not too bad with the Spanish names usually.
Didn't you mess up one like earlier?
That was a really long Spanish word.
Alright, you're 50-50 on today's episode.
Yeah.
Assuming you got that one right.
Yeah. No, I think I did. As they navigate daily life and struggle to survive as a family unit under their parents who are suddenly deported back to Mexico. So, very topical. I actually kind of think... I think it's funny, though, they took an old show and rebooted it, but put in one of the trends. Like, okay, so we're going to do it, but we're going to do it with new...
We need the trends.
Alright. So next up, NBC's ordered some pilots. First one is a drama series set in Bellevue Hospital. We did hear about this before when it was in development. Inspired by Dr. Eric Mannheimer. That's a great name.
That's a phenomenal name.
His memoir, 12 Patients, Life and Death at Bellevue Hospital. And it's just about the inner workings of the hospital. Because the reason why I remembered we talked about this, because I remembered at the end it was like, Bellevue Hospital, the only place in the world that can treat all these different types of patient. And I remember that big thing at the end of the description.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So they've ordered the pilot for that officially, so that's the thing that's happening. I highly doubt they're going to use the title of the book, though, because it's 12 Patients, Life and Death at Bellevue Hospital.
It's just going to be called Bellevue or Bellevue Hospital.
Yeah, most likely. I'd like to think they'd go with something a bit more fancy, but whatever.
But they won't.
No. Alright, next up, NBC again. They've ordered a pilot for the 2018-2019 season. I assume they're all for that season, to be fair, but this one...
I would, yeah.
This one specified it, so I'm just going to throw it in there. It's called In Between Lives. The series would follow a mysterious young woman who reluctantly uses her gift of clairvoyance to help a veteran LAPD detective and a damaged ex-FBI outsider solve the most unnerving and challenging cases the city encounters. This eerie ability also opens the door for her to see and talk to the dead, who are seeking help from unresolved problems, whether she likes it or not. Do you know what I love about this? Is that I was almost going to say this should be on Fox, but then they put in a third person. I went, oh no, Fox only does two, only pairs.
So I was going to interrupt, going, sorry, did you say it was NBC still, or did we move on to Fox without me noticing? And then you got there, I was like, oh no, this isn't Fox. This is too much for them.
Yeah, it's three people.
This sounds like it's going to be not iZombie.
It does a little bit actually, yeah. You know what? I really want to get back and finish season 3 of that. I'm going to try and make a point of doing that soon.
Well, there's your mission for the week.
Yeah, I want to get back and watch the rest of season 3 before season 4 hits.
Yeah, that's next month, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's late February.
Yeah.
It's imminent. But yeah, so we're still at NBC. They're got another pilot. And we heard about this before as well. We still don't know the title for it, but it's easy to describe because it is the Bad Boys spin-off with Gabriel Union.
The Bad Girls. That one.
Which they might call it that. They've not officially
titled it. Money on it still. I'm surprised they didn't do it now.
Yeah. She's gonna do a role Agent Sid Burnett, who's in the second movie. She's Martin Lawrence's character's sister, and it's gonna be set in Miami. She's moved there from LA. Sorry. She was in Miami and she's moving to LA because the Bad Boys movies took place in Miami.
Yeah, because budget.
Yeah, but it may be more expensive to shoot in Miami. I think it's more that production for a lot of NBC shows probably is in Los Angeles anyway.
Well, that's what I mean by budget. That encompasses that. It's cheaper, and also I think they get tax breaks over there.
Some shows do. It depends. They have to apply for them and whatnot. But yeah. So that's the thing. It's funny actually. Gabriel Union is actually in a movie that's coming out soon on Mother's Day, and it looks like a potentially fun, hilarious thing that might take itself too seriously. I don't know. It's like a home invasion movie where it's a state-of-the-art house that has all these big shutters that come down, but she actually gets locked outside while all the criminals are inside with her kids. So she's basically becomes this badass mum trying to get back in and like rescue her kids. It's potentially fun, but potentially just really silly. I don't know. It could go either way.
Something we spoke about on the movie news show last week. So
yeah,
keep up with that for more of those amazing insights.
Yeah, I kind of forgot you were there. If I'm honest, I've
seen this trailer.
Yeah, I said that thinking you didn't know about it, but hey, for the audience,
I mean, unless you all watched that, which you should have done. Really,
breaking in. So when that movie bombed, she's got her TV show to come to. Maybe it'll do well. Maybe it's the sort of thing that'll hit big on Mother's Day. Alright, so that's on to our final news story of the week then. We're going to Fox. Fox have ordered a pilot. It's not a buddy cop show before you get in it.
Disappointed. We haven't had any this year yet.
It's called Mixtape. It's from writer and producer Josh Safran. It has been ordered to pilot. It is a 1-hour romantic musical drama that looks at a disparate group of interconnected people in contemporary Los Angeles through the lens of the music that defines who they are.
I'm down. I know you're not, but I'm down.
No, I'm probably not down. There's a couple of specific ways they could do this that might interest me, but most ways would not. Whereas you're probably on board for most of the ways they could do
it. I probably am. Yeah. I mean, I'm less happy about it on Fox. I'm not sure I want it through that Fox filter.
I feel like this is them going for the next Glee, because obviously Fox had Glee. That was a big hit for a little while. Now, not so
probably.
much. Or before,
it's gone.
What I meant though is by the time it got to the 5th or 6th season, if it got to that far, it's like the last couple of seasons. I
thought I only went to 4.
Maybe it was 4, but the point being is that when it got to the last couple, it wasn't as big anymore.
No.
It declined.
No one was singing the songs in the public.
Yeah, I think by season 3 it already kind of tanked in popularity. So
yeah,
but
I mean, I remember the early seasons where everyone was singing those damn songs.
I remember it being a big thing. I don't remember anyone singing the songs.
Oh, really? I knew loads of people who just sing them round and about.
Better friends, I guess. I don't know.
They're not friends, just people. I didn't say I was friends with them.
You sound offended. They weren't my friends.
I'm a little bit.
How dare you?
Oh Jesus, you're right. I did get 6 seasons.
Yeah, I remembered 6 for some reason. And clearly I was right.
Six was a half season, but
they did one of those things where they gave it a little half season wrap up. Yeah.
Christ, I thought it stopped at 4, so it shows how much I paid attention to that, doesn't it?
I think the reason why I knew that is because I just kind of paid attention to the news a little bit, and I just like when it was cancelled, it was like, oh, it's cancelled after season 6 kind of thing.
I remember it being cancelled. I do remember that, but fair enough. I mean, I don't really care. It's Glee.
Oh, of course, yeah. But there you go. That's the news. That's this week's news, which I guess means we can pick our favourite episode of TV of the week, which comes down to either Black Lightning, which can count because we've watched it. I've actually also watched Supergirl and Flash, by the way, for the record.
I'll let you count those this week because seeing as there's not much.
We had Star Trek Discovery and we had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Since the last news recording. Nah. Joe, it's funny actually, because S.H.I.E.L.D. was pretty good.
It was not its best episode, but it was solid.
Not its best, but it was pretty good. Black Lightning was a very promising premiere.
Star Trek was pretty good. Maybe not as good as the last couple, though.
Yeah, not as good as the last couple. It's a little bit more rough around the edges. What's interesting is I actually think Supergirl had a pretty good episode. And it's interesting because I think it's actually between that and Black Lightning for me. And it's funny, I feel like I really want to give it to Supergirl for a number of different things that it did. There's definitely nitpicks to be had, but it was really good. More than that in television from the multiverse later.
I'm looking forward to watching them in the next couple of days because I have not had time.
I mean, you could criticize how Brainiac 5 looks.
I'm sure we will.
But the personality.
So look, that counts for more.
I'm digging the chemistry. And as much as the exciting was to get a good Brainiac 5, we also got something else which I was not expecting.
Okay, and I don't actually know what this is, which is rare. Usually by this point in the week, I've had most of these things on CW shows spoiled for me. Just Twitter, Reddit, just because they get memed to hell. But I have no idea what you're referring to.
You won't be excited as I was.
Oh, okay. Like I know, like at least one moment from the Flash episode because that got memed a lot, and I accidentally saw that.
I didn't see any memes from the Flash. I did, however, see a photo from the following episode, so I knew how this one was going to end quite easily. However, whatever. Flash wasn't as good though. I mean, Flash, it wasn't terrible, but it was. You can nitpick the shit out of the Flash this week though. If you have I don't expect my shows to be documentaries about how court works, but Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
But Jesus Christ.
No, is it courtroom drama week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so let's just say there's some...
So which one are you going with?
See, my heart... I feel like Black Lightning was a more overall solidly produced episode of television. Supergirl hit a lot of really happy notes for me personally. But I think I'm going to be the wiser person and say Black Lightning.
That's fine. I mean, I've only got the 3 to choose from here, so for me, it's a clear choice of Black Lightning. I think, S.H.I.E.L.D. and Star Trek were both good episodes, don't get me wrong. They were both very enjoyable episodes this week.
Yeah.
But Black Lightning was different. It was fresh. It was just way beyond expectations.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasant surprise. So the first review of Black Lightning was an individual thing. It'll also be edited into this week's television from the multiverse, I should say. But following episodes will just be part of television from the multiverse every week at the end of the week, where we do all DC shows. So that's where you can find the reviews of that going forward, if you happen to catch the first one on its own. But there you go. So that is our picks for the week. So we're done. That's this week's news.
Oh, we made it.
Yeah, we did. Somehow.
We get to do this all again tomorrow for the movies.
That we do. We were going to record them back to back, but Connor had a nap, and we had to push one of them.
I'm kind of stuck on an early morning schedule at the minute, and it doesn't suit what we do.
It does not at all. And the funny thing was I was on the same schedule for a little bit, and then I naturally kind of shifted out of it because it was always going to happen. And
I tried to force myself. I stayed up later, thinking, "Oh, this will push me back," and then.
Yeah,
still woke up
you
early.
actually almost had a bonus movie review yesterday, and then his sleeping pattern ruined it.
To be fair, you'll probably still get that.
You'll probably still get it, it just won't be as fresh.
I mean, yeah, but it's coming.
Because had we done it yesterday, we'd have been within a day of the movie releasing.
All right, you might get it within a week of the movie releasing.
Yeah, no, that's true. They're all going to be speculating as to what it is now, and it's not as big as you think it is.
No, it's not.
It's not
really
huge,
not.
but we want to do it anyway, so you can look forward to that. Anyway,
Yeah.
and one other thing that may happen over the next month and a half, actually, is that I think we're both catching up on a lot of movies from 2017, so you may get a few extra episodes of Gigawatts about various movies that came out.
The ones that where we happen to overlap of things that neither of us have seen.
There's already one that we both just watched in the past couple of days that we'll probably do a video on.
Yeah,
in the next few days.
me and Matt did Molly's Game earlier in the week.
And again, that was you just both happened to have seen it, so you just recorded a video. It wasn't a planned thing. And likewise, the next one we're going to do is not really. I mean, it's planned now because we've both seen it, but it wasn't planned before.
It was more of, hey, I've seen this. Do you want to talk about it?
So there'll probably be a few not quite spoiler moments, but not far removed from them.
Semi-planned things you probably won't get warning for, and it'll just pop up.
Yeah, so there'll be a few of those over the next little while. But I am looking forward to next week actually having some TV shows back because it felt really dead this week.
It's been strange,
if I'm honest. So I'm looking forward to having some TV back. And we have a couple of weeks of just a few shows, and then that's when Netflix starts assaulting us with Altered Carbon and other things.
Oh, but Altered Carbon looks so good.
It does. And then we can try Everything Sucks despite Connor's protest, and then we can try 7 Seconds, which is like a week later. Was that a week later?
Yeah.
That's a week later, yeah. And then by the time that's done, should we keep it? We may not like that enough, but if we
see that's got an uphill battle because that's against the Tick on that day.
It does. The Tick's an easy watch. That's a half
it is,
hour
but
thing,
if I've got to pick, then the Tick's going to win probably.
Well, we're already like that. We're already invested. In the
exactly.
Tick.
It has that
but,
strong chance.
This is the thing. Anyway, so that is this week's TV news. So by all means, let us know what you think of any of the shows or news we talked about in this episode. Like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz. If you want to get us, if you want to support us, if you want to support the channel and support the show and everything we do here, you can tell this Red Bull's going to my head. We are on patreon.com/mailfuzztv, and you can get some bonuses and work towards more goals and shit. And that's how the movie news exists, because we hit a goal, and future goals will be a thing. But the next one's comics based, which might not appeal to everyone watching this specifically. But beyond that, there'll be new goals and there might be more things.
Maybe we should add a goal to get you a speech coach.
How about we get a goal to shut your damn mouth? How's about that?
I mean, we could if that's what the people want.
oh, right in, people, right in. But no, so that is go check out that. There'll be a link in the description as well as some other useful links. But that is us. So thank you once again. We will see you next time. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?